Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and checking out today's video. And guys, I have got something I want to talk about. I saw yesterday, I saw a reel that came across it. I can't remember if it was Instagram or Facebook. It was probably one of the most disturbing bass fishing videos I've ever seen for a lot of different reasons. And I sort of want to get into that a little bit today and explain to you what was shown in this video and why it is so disturbing, and really discuss the broader picture of this. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, before we get started, just a quick reminder. I don't know if you saw it, but Tackle Warehouse has got a big Black Friday sale going on right now. If you guys are looking to get stocked up on tackle, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. You guys can use that link to get you some good deals on tackle right now. And also, guys, thank everybody out there that's been taking time to go in and send me a private message about my on-the-water lessons. If you guys are interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, I'm doing a lot of jerkbait deals right now. Just shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, and I'll get you the details for that. So I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, this, now, it may not be disturbing to a lot of people, but it was extremely disturbing to me, and I think that probably the majority of anglers would find this disturbing. And this is something that is sort of not new, but the way this particular video was seen, it really, really bothered me a lot. Okay, this reel, anyway, that was this angler, it showed him, he was idling out into the middle of a cove, and he had the typical, high-tech setup. He had 3 graphs up front, 2 on the console there, all of them big monster units. I mean, there's so much screen, inches up there. I don't even see how the guy could fish. But anyway, he gets up there and it shows him, scanning around on his live scope, and he sees one there. And the entire time, okay, you got to realize this, the entire time, from the time he walked up there till the time the video ended, he pulled the trolling motor up, and he's glued to that live scope screen. His head is glued down. He's not looking anywhere except at that screen right there at him, and he's looking at this fish. And this fish is probably, it's not very far out in front of him because he's almost vertical when he's, shaking. I don't know if it was a drop shot or minnow or whatever, but he's almost vertical on these fish, and he's sitting there and he's shaking it and shaking it and shaking it and shaking it. And then, he's looking a little bit more, and he's shaking. He's only made one cast. He hadn't made another cast. He's shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. And eventually he sets the hook, and he doesn't even take his eyes off the screen when he sets the hook and he's fighting the fish. He's so glued to that freaking live scope screen that there's nothing else that exists outside of that world of that screen. That screen, that virtual reality that he's seeing on that screen, is his complete world in fishing. There's not anything else around it. It's almost like the water doesn't exist, the sky doesn't exist, nothing around him exists except for that blip that he can see on that screen. And there's something, and I've seen stuff like this before, but there's something about the way this particular video was set up that it really demonstrated to me how much bullshit that live scope is and forward-facing sonar. It's like how it has degraded the sport of bass fishing, and how it has degraded the skill level and the skill set of anglers. Okay, I hear it all the time. People say it's like, oh, these guys, these live scopers are just as good. They can catch them any way that you want to catch them. They don't have to use live scope. That's just a tool. Guys, that's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of BS. I'm not saying that there's some guys out there that don't know how to flip a jig underneath the boat dock if they don't have a live scope on, or if they don't know how to throw a buzzbait up on the bank. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I could go to my elementary school where my little boy goes to and pull out somebody in first grade in an hour, teach him how to do that. What I'm talking about is like this video, this dude on the screen, this guy that was, on this reel. He's obviously proud of the fact that he did this because he posted it on Instagram or Facebook. If that is this dude's game, which obviously it is, I mean, the intensity of this, you could just tell that's exactly what he did. How in the world does he understand the nuances of seasonal patterns and bass movement and bass behavior and all the aspects of bass fishing that are a true art form? Okay, if you're immersed into this live scope world to the extent that you have mastered this type of fake technology in fishing, how in the world, let me throw out this scenario. Okay, if for this dude, say this dude and I went fishing, and that is his game, is live scoping. Okay, let's say we go out fishing. We don't have any electronics on the boat whatsoever. All we got's a trolling motor and rod and reel. And I pull up, and there's this lay down tree in the water there. And I give him the scenarios. I say, okay, the water visibility here is 2 foot. You know, the base of the tree is in 2 foot of water. The outside part of the tree is in 8 foot of water. I go over the complexities of the limb setup, how it is, and how it's positioned on the bank in relationship to the part of the lake it's in, the creek arm, cove arm, whatever. And then I'm going to say, okay, you tell me based upon these variables. I'll give him water temperature, water clarity, wind speed, wind direction, time of day, species of bass that are in the lake, the proximity, like I said, of the cover in relationship to the seasonal pattern that we're in at that time. And I want you to tell me the top 3 lures that are going to produce fish on this. I want you to tell me the color, and I want you to tell me the specific color. I want you to tell me the profile of the bait, the size of the bait that you're going to use, and why. I want you to tell me the pound test line. I want you to tell me the action of the rod. I want you to tell me, I want you to tell me how the boat needs to be positioned to generate this strike. I want you to tell me how many casts that are going to be needed to generate this strike. I want you to tell me the speed of retrieve and the cadence and the nuances of the stop and go, medium, fast speed retrieve based upon that. Go for it. Tell me about it. Tell me exactly how to approach this tree from what I just told you, based upon all of your infinite wisdom as a bass fisherman that you must have, even though that you spend all your time on live scope. Obviously he couldn't do it. There's no way in hell somebody could do that, because they haven't spent the time. The only way that the only way that you could answer my questions and the situation that I pose to you is having seasons and seasons of experience under your belt by fishing that type of structure, in all different types of conditions. That's why I talk about that live scope and forward facing sonar is dumbing down a generation of anglers, and they don't even know it. And another aspect of that can't be overlooked, that you hear me talking about a lot, is that there's a movement in fishing, or there's an element or segment of anglers out there that want to know everything they can know about bass fishing. They don't want to have anything that they don't know. They want to know every nuance and detail, and there's not going to be anything that they don't know about where the fish are at or why they're at. Guys, we never want to know that. We never want to know everything about the bass, and that's one of the biggest things that live scope has done to destroy bass fishing, is it removes that unknown. I've known that those bass were out there for 50 years that they're catching with live scope, because I've seen old dudes trolling for striped bass in the middle of Beaver Lake, or fishing for white bass in the middle of Table Rock Lake, and they catch a 5 or 6 pound bass. I know those fish are out there, and it's a comfort to know those fish they're out there, and they're roaming around, and they're protected, and they have a sanctuary. I don't need to go out there in the middle of nowhere with a piece of electronic technology and exploit and harass those bass that are in their sanctuary areas. So from that standpoint, the knowledge that we gain about bass fishing, the ethical way, and the way that it's done with integrity, is to fish to find those fish. It's not to have a piece of technology show you those fish in real time. The real way that bass fishing should be, pursued, is that when you roll up to a main lake point out there, you don't graph it, with your side imaging and run over it with your forward-facing sonar. You pull up to that main lake point and you say, oh my God, I have no idea if there's a bass there. This is like, there could be anything there. There could be a mega school there, or there might not be a fish, but I'm going to fish. I'm going to get up there and drag a football head jig or throw a crankbait on it, and I'm going to fish to find out. That is what fishing is. That is the honorable way to fish. It's an insult to the bass. It's an insult to the sport. It's an insult to yourself if you roll up there on that point and you use electronic technology to figure that out for you. You're missing the entire point of what fishing is. So it's been a while since I've done a video on the spotlight machine, and I just don't want to ever normalize this. Just because people are not talking about it as much, do not normalize this technology. You have to stay on top of it, because that's how anything in society, that's how any type of negativity or destructive element emerges in societies, when people normalize it. So never do that with this technology. Keep fighting the good fight. Come over to the light here, guys, and get on the right side of history. So we'll talk to y'all later.